Now, a special meeting of Wicklow County Council will take place today to discuss what has been described as poor standards of maintenance in some of local authority housing stock. The proposal was put forward by Sinn Féin, and Arklow Councillor Mary McDonald is on the line from Sinn Féin to explain the background to this. Hello to you, Mary.
Morning, Declan. How are you?
Good morning to you. So, what have you got here? Many houses, and what are poor standards?
Well, the reason we felt that we had to call a special meeting was because every month at our Wicklow County Council meeting, we have such a full agenda that we don't feel sometimes that the issues that need to be discussed without actually getting to them. And because this is such a big issue and it's such an important issue, that we felt we had to call a special meeting to discuss the whole situation and try and find a solution going forward collectively as a council to resolve the issues that some people are dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
Right, and how many of the housing stock do you think are in difficulty to a greater or lesser degree?
It would be hard to say exactly how many, Declan, but I'm sure that all 32 councils are experiencing the same amount of calls and are making the same representations for tenants of council housing, that they need some measure, be a small measure or a large measure, of work done to the house to bring it up to an acceptable standard. And we understand that, this is not just a Wicklow County Council issue. It comes down to lack of funding that's been delivered from central government to the local authorities to address this situation. We need to be putting pressure on the government, on Simon Coveney, to facilitate the local authorities in carrying out this work. And we just feel that it needs to be highlighted at this stage. There's a lot of issues going back, in some cases, obviously I can't talk about individual cases, but 4 or 5 years. And through lack of funding, we just don't have either the manpower or the facilities to address the issues. And it's got to the stage where we feel that we need to actually step it up a step and bring it to the government to supply funding for Wicklow County Council and I'm sure other local authorities to address the situation.
Right, and what's quoted is damage such as damp and mould and poor ventilation and rotten windows and cracks in roofs and ceilings. That seems quite a list of, faults in houses that require definitely remedial action.
Absolutely, yes. And like I said, it's from very minor issues up to, in some cases, very, very serious issues. Some people are actually complaining at this stage that they're being hospitalised from the side effects of some of the situations that they're living with, the mould and damp, and they all need to be addressed. I think at this stage we need to get an independent survey done of all the people who have complained. We need to get a list of how many people are complaining on a regular basis, and just sort of get our house in order and get to the bottom of this and address it. We hear every day on the news some sort of plan that's coming from the government to solve the housing crisis. In general, it all seems to be geared towards the private landlords. We're not actually addressing our own stock, our government stock, our local authority stock. Those issues are not being addressed at the moment, and I think that's where they need to start. They need to start at the bottom and work the way up. But these people, the tenants of the council, they're paying their rent. They're doing everything they need to do, and I just feel that at this stage they need to have somebody listen to them. We need to get together as a council, 32 councillors, as the housing authority. We've invited the 5 TDs to the meeting after dinner, and we need to collectively be addressing this problem. It's gone on.
In fact, we've had a listener on a few weeks ago who was exasperated, been going on for years, about some damping issue in the house that seems to be just lasting and lasting. But people will probably ask, are there responsibilities from the tenant who's living in the house for some sort of maintenance?
Oh, absolutely. There are responsibilities on every side here, but some of the issues have become so bad that at this stage they need to be addressed by the local authority, by the housing authority, by the landlord. Some of the situations they're out of control, out of the control of the tenants. They're bigger than what the tenant can actually deal with, and as such, the local authorities, as landlords, need to be dealing with the problem.
Okay, so the meeting is today, and you expect all 32 councillors to be involved?
I would hope so. I would hope we would. Understandably, there's work commitments and different commitments from people, but I think it's such an important issue right across the county, and probably right across the country, that we need to be making the effort to be there and to at least be seen to be supportive, to give support to the councillors, to the housing staff, which are to the pin of their collar, to get anything done because of lack of funding, and that we definitely need the support of all 32 councillors in this particular issue.
Okay. All right then. Arklow Councillor for Sinn Féin, Mary McDonald. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you.
Good morning to you. Thank you. All right. 087 77 11 103 is the number there, just in case you have a comment on that. Hi, Declan, out for a spin yesterday about Ballygannon Wood.